you forget how loud those 8s are. Even
Oh
here
yeah.
from the finish line, you can hear them coming, thundering down the course, hearing those the oars and the oarlocks just in unison. We already have this next race underway, the Men's Open F Double Heat 1. This is a pretty stacked field. We have 3 heats, so that means only the top 2 will be able to progress to the final. And with these heats being sorted somewhat randomly, it can be the real luck of the draw. We might have some faster heats than others. So it's just a matter of managing the competition that you have in your field, trying to find yourself in those top 2 positions by putting all of that work in early, putting yourself in a good spot, both physically and mentally.
So we saw there from overhead, early leader was Texas Rowing Center. On the other side of them, we have a San Diego composite boat. Catawba then on the other side of them, Sarasota County in lane 3 and Great Miami in lane 2. Halfway point here. So that San Diego composite still maintaining contact with our leaders, Texas Rowing Center. And then 1 lane over, San Diego composite looks to be even with Sarasota County. Sure.
Really great shot here of these doubles coming through that last, I guess almost the second half really now by this point. We're coming into the last 250 meters, but rowers still looking really clean. You can see straight arm hang here from our leading crew, Texas Rowing Center of Minzenmeyer and Lynch. Really beautiful strokes here.
That Sarasota County boat pushing away from 3rd place. The San Diego composite boat there.
And it's hard to race from so many lanes of separation, so these doubles being very cautious to take little peeks over at the field to make sure they don't disrupt the run of the boat. Sometimes if we look out too much, it can be too distracting and we can actually fracture from the rhythm of our partners. So trying to make sure we're staying focused, but also getting a good look at the field, trying to see how much more it'll take to get into the top 2 positions.
A really great sprint here over there on the other side from Sarasota County. But Texas Rowing Center able to hang on to that lead and finish first here in this heat.
We have a battle for 3rd and 4th here between these 2 crews in the middle. Catawba and the San Diego composite battling. That's another photo finish. That's 2 out of 4. No, 2 out of 5 races so far with photo finishes.
Incredible odds. But the 2 boats advancing there will be Texas Rowing Center and Sarasota County.
And that'll be our crew from Great Miami finishing out that field of Heat 1. We're already moving on to the Men's Open F Double Heat 2. This race has 4 boats in it, with 1 lane that's empty, separating lanes 4 and 6. Here in the picture now we have Chinook in lane 2. Next to them it will be Newport Sea Base. In lane 4 we'll have Atomic. And in lane 6, Detroit.
So with perhaps a scratch this morning, leaving our crew over there in lane 6, kind of on an island by themselves. But it does not seem to be affecting them too much. That double from Detroit, pushing up with the leader of Chinook on the other side.
Really commanding lead there in the lower lane. So that'll be lane 6, Detroit. But watch out for Chinook in the other far lane, over there in lane 2. Again, a hard place to be, just relation of these two boats together. Potentially these crews just keeping an internal focus, maybe with a speed coach to give them that kind of data on how quickly they're moving, how consistently they're pacing this piece. Maybe just by feel.
These two boats on opposite sides know that they're in those top two places in a great position to advance to the final.
Really beautiful overhead shot here of the Chinook crew. You have those backwards riggers, so it may look like you have a little bit more open space over those toes than some of us might be used to. But we have this kind of rare view of those legs pushing all the way through the finish. I can almost tell that they're keeping connection to their toes all the way through the stroke, which you can't usually see.
We have a coach who calls those strong finish legs.
Good, and Mare, again, this is top two. We have Detroit and Chinook on opposite ends of this field, both of them with clear open water behind them. We might see either of these crews practicing their sprint or shutting it down, just trying to save energy.
It looks to me like the rates are up here, especially from this crew from Detroit closest to us. Practicing that chance to take up the rate as they cross the line.
Definitely a tough skill to master, is just trying to take those steps together. Oftentimes, if a crew can't match at those steps, they might actually lose speed, even though they're trying to bring up the intensity.
Right, it's tempting to think that if you just bring up the rate, you're going to go faster, but that is not a guarantee.
Up next, we'll have the third heat of this event. So we have the men's open F double. In heat 3, we'll have Chaos, Scratch actually in 7, so only a 5-boat race. So then in lane 6, Palm Beach. In lane 5, Labai Vert Composite. In lane 4, a 612 Endurance Composite. In lane 3, Saugatuck. And in lane 2, Vero Beach Composite. And it's worth mentioning that Detroit crew actually is containing a former Olympian, Bill Mayer, a 1968 men's double Olympic bronze medalist. So he will go on to that final with his doubles partner, Alexander Stanovoy.
Overhead here in our current heat, we can see that our leader is 612 Endurance Composite in lane 4, Faber and Lesnow, with a commanding lead over the field. But that Palm Beach double over there to the left on your screen is in that second place spot. So with just two crews moving on out of this heat, it can be maybe to your advantage to really jump out at the start and kind of establish yourself as an early leader. Kind of psych out your competitors, make them think that they don't have a chance to be able to walk back up.
Shout out to the high vis coming through these last 25 strokes here, looking very clean. Again, we can't really compare these times across several heats just because we have different conditions for sure, but also, more importantly, people are gaming this heat in different ways. Some athletes opting in for that practice stroke to bring the rate up and practicing those steps together. Others opting for a shut it down where they save that energy for this afternoon's final or potentially future races.
Right, it's always, we can't say what everyone's priority is here. I imagine that everyone is juggling multiple events over multiple days. Maybe you have several heats that you need to compete in on that morning. How are you going to approach every day to kind of like maximize your performance?
And we're going to take a quick ad break here. We'll be back to you shortly.